This project is called Contextualizing Lincoln on Slavery, Race, and Civil Rights. Project website starts with the provocative, decontextualized question, was Lincoln a racist? And then asks students to react to and interpret several kinds of historical evidence and to reflect on how that evidence impacts their thinking about Abraham Lincoln's racial attitudes. The historical content of the debate is the famous Lincoln-Douglas debates of 1858, when Lincoln squared off against incumbent Senator Stephen Douglas in 7 debates arranged in various Illinois towns in a contest for the U.S. Senate. College students in 3 kinds of classes are the target users of this project. One group is upper division undergrad students in a history capstone course on Illinois history. Some of those students will become high school history teachers. A second group is grad students enrolled in a history methodology course. And a third group is a class of undergrad and grad students in a course tentatively titled Digital Approaches to Study of the Civil War Era. The project is designed as an assignment that will take about 2 weeks of a semester, during which students study several kinds of historical sources on the Lincoln-Douglas debates, and meanwhile write posts to a Google document indicating their reactions to and interpretations of the sources as they impact their thinking, the students' thinking about Lincoln and race. Students first complete a pre-project assessment of what they know or think about the topic. They then read and reflect on a U.S. history textbook's coverage of the Lincoln-Douglas debates, including an excerpt from one of Lincoln's speeches in which he indicated in response to an accusation by Douglas that his opposition to slavery did not mean that he supported social equality or mixed race domestic relations. Students next encounter short primary sources that illustrate the science of race during the mid-19th century, excerpts from popular texts on the concept of phrenology, the study of the human skull as a marker of individuals and groups' intelligence. First, an excerpt from Morton's Crania Americana, and then an excerpt from Fowler's Illustrated Self-Instructor in Phrenology and Physiology. Then the project turns to the real crux of it when students encounter and upload and receive instructions on how to find and upload texts of Lincoln's and Douglas's entire speeches over the course of the debates in 1858 to the digital platform Voyant. And after they do that, they are directed to use several tools to analyze what Douglas and Lincoln said. They see what each speaker's most frequent words were. They see the words each speaker associated with the word race. After a trigger warning, they're asked to search for the speaker's usage of the word nigger and to see how often that word was used and in what historical context. And the students use a trends tool to see the changes in the speaker's usage of the root word slave. They're able to then use the reader tool to see in which debates slave occurred most and least frequently, and then correlate those term's usage with trends in a map of Illinois and demographic data about each debate's location pulled from a US census. Finishing with Buoyant, students then wind up the project by interpreting a cartoon about Lincoln and Douglas that appeared after the debates, suggesting what public opinion was of their political and racial attitudes. To wind up, students complete a brief post-project assessment that serves as a marker of whether and how the project has impacted their views on the question of Lincoln and race. Students then dialogue and write a short reflection on their experience, and they may use the project later in the semester to develop an independent project of their own.